kind of in search mode right now. I've moved around, just seeing if I can locate some active fish in an area. What's funny about this area is I see absolutely nothing in my graph, but that's just looking underneath the boat. Got a pretty nice fish here, spotted bass. Pretty fish. Come here, buddy. Not too bad at all. Hit him right there on the corner of that point. It's Dalton, everybody. Just out here this morning doing some winter fishing. Kind of a long bass, maybe 1.25 pounds or so. And right now I'm just scooting this little bait along the bottom with a little football head jig on it, and just kind of moving it and nudging it, working it almost like a little shaky head. And seems to be working. I'm using it kind of like a search bait, just to kind of search an area, see if there's any fish that are active and biting. And well, that was a good one right there. Let's see if there's any more. There he is. There's just a little current, and I'm just like kind of letting the current just take me along this bluff. I'm fishing outside the bluff and just moving this little bait along. Got me a spot here. Come on up here, buddy. That's all I'm doing right now, is just scooting this bait along with a football head. Bouncing off some of the little rocks, little pebbles and all that. That's pretty much been threw a jig over here and didn't get a bite on it, so I'll just keep throwing this around till I maybe seem a little bit bigger and then throw a bigger jig. Got it. This little guy right here, he came running right at me. Got him on a little jig here. One of my favorite colored jigs. I'll sit down with you guys here in a little bit. I'm going to talk about that first bait, how I kind of search with it, and then I throw stuff like a jig like this. That bright orange, I really like it. And he was just sitting out there off this ledge. I fished over here on the steep banks. I didn't get a bite, but I got a transition here from rock to this ledge and then back to rock again. I kind of caught him out off that ledge. There he is. He's right in the mud. Funny how that works out. Just right in the mud. Just nowhere. You're thinking, oh man, there's got to be a piece of cover. There's got to be some type of structure. This guy was just sitting right in the mud. That is funny as heck. Talk about roaming around. Here we go. Come on up here, buddy. Nice little fat fish right there. Sometimes these just do-nothing banks. Look how chunky that fish is. Sometimes these do-nothing banks, there's just nothing there. You wouldn't think there'd be a fish there. And sometimes they just stack up on there. Group of them over here. Just kind of a rounded off point and a lot of mud. Literally just dragging this in the mud. That's all I'm doing. Makes you wonder, maybe there's little crawdads in there. A lot of times when I've seen crawdads at this lake, they get right in the mud. And so maybe there are some little crawdads running around, or could be bait fish. What's really funny is my 2D sonar is not even showing me anything. Hey, the way I set this bait up today, it's really working good. Getting a lot of bites on it. Man, just put it in front of a fish and they can't stand it. It's not very big, but sure fun to catch. A little breeze picked up, so I'm just kind of letting the breeze take the boat. And that's pretty fun. Pretty fun. It feels like spring right now. It was really cold this morning. I looked online around 6 this morning. It was around 28 degrees. Of course, I didn't come out at that time. I didn't start fishing until about 9 o'clock. But it's turned into a beautiful day. You know, like I say, it almost feels like spring. Okay, so I'm done for the day. I'll wrap it up and head home. You know, sometimes in fishing, I just have to get myself out of my own head. So starting off earlier today, the patterns that had been working for me, particularly the steep bluff walls, didn't work so well today. So I tried a few other things, didn't work out. So I thought, well, let's just go fish the mud. You know, let's just see if there's some in the mud. Now, I fish the mud a lot out here, but not always in the wintertime. But I thought, what the heck, there's a nice little rounded point, sun's on it. Maybe there'll be some fish there. And lo and behold, there was some fish. There wind up being quite a few of them. And what was really funny is there were anywhere from 6 to 10 foot of water. They really weren't even very deep. And I started catching them. And like I say, it was a lot of fun. What I want to end this video with is a search bait. It's a search bait that oftentimes is not thought of as a search bait, but it is a search bait. First and foremost, you know, I want to get this out. A Ned rig does not have to have a light weight. Now, when I first started throwing a Ned rig, that's exactly what I did, and that's the only thing I would do. I would throw a 1/16, a 1/10, you know, 6-pound test, sometimes 4-pound test line, and that's what I thought it was. And then I started playing around with other techniques and realized there's a whole lot more to fishing this Ned rig than just a light weight. So I've had these for a while. They're little football jigs. They're made by Northland Fishing Tackle. Little finesse football jigs with a Gamakatsu hook. I've had them for a long time. And what I did was I just took a TRD and glued it on there because, you know, they kept sliding down, so I glued it on there. I used the chartreuse color. This is Hot Snakes. It's been a good color out here. And all I did was really just kind of scoot this thing along the bottom real slow. I would drag it. Sometimes I would nudge it, try to work it a little bit like a shaky head. But I could get it out deeper. It's a 3/16 ounce on 8-pound test line. So I had no problem getting this out 20, 25, 30 feet without having to wait a long time. Plus, if I'm using a really light weight, and even if I'm willing to wait that long for the bait to get down, it doesn't feel right. I'm not maintaining bottom contact, which was the whole reason why I wanted to use that jig. I wanted to stay on the bottom because that's been working for me. That 3/16 ounce little football head kept that bait on the bottom. And I got a lot of bites today. I got short striked where they would grab the tail and it would stretch and they'd let go. And then I had some just flat out take it. But it's a very effective tool when you know that there's a lot of fish tucked on the bottom. It's super effective as a search bait because you can actually work it pretty fast. What I did is I would just drag it along pretty quick. It stayed on the bottom and I would find active fish that way. And then when I found active fish, I would go ahead and throw a jig, maybe trying to get a bigger one. I didn't get anything on my 3/4 ounce today. Now this is my little 3/8 ounce, but this color is so good. It's one of my favorite colors for a jig. This is brown and orange. I took one brown skirt, one orange skirt, put them together on this jig. Now this particular TRD, and I ordered these, I got them in the package, and I don't know, they must have left them out in the sun because a lot of them are all melted up and crooked, and they'll still work. But at any rate, this is a green pumpkin orange. I didn't have anything that had orange in it, so I just stayed with that TRD. It was the only one I had orange. And they like that orange color out here. It's just kind of a natural color, especially with crawdads. You know, a lot of crawdads that I've seen out here when they spit out pinchers and so forth have what looks like to me some brown and orange in them. So brown and orange is an excellent color. Well, I enjoyed it out here today. A beautiful day. No fog this morning. I didn't get out here, like I say, I started fishing about 9 o'clock, and but there was zero fog out here this morning. It was just a really nice morning, just cold, and nice sunny day, beautiful. Not much wind to speak of. I get a breeze here and there, or a little gust, but hardly any wind. But the fishing was pretty good. Well, I thank you all, and the best thing for me to do in fishing is get out of my own head, and if whatever pattern I was on is not working, go find something else. And I said, well, let's just go find some mud and let's go fishing, and it worked out great. I appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you next time.